I gave my old sports car to my stepson on his 16th birthday, forgetting that I had promised it to my real son, and now my real son has cut me off forever. I've been a car mechanic since 19, running my own shop since 28. My pride and joy was my black 1967 Chevrolet Chevelle that my dad bought me when I turned 17. I'd maintained that car for decades, keeping 90% of its original parts. My son from my first marriage loved that Chevelle as much as I did. He'd beg for rides, memorize every spec, and had a toy model that looked exactly like it. He'd spend hours at my shop after school, watching me work on cars. After my divorce, I remarried a woman with a 4-year-old son. My son lived with his mom, but visited constantly, until his mom remarried and moved several states away. After that, I saw my son maybe once every few months. Phone calls became less frequent. He said he needed to focus on school. My stepson was 10 by then. Then my business started failing. My wife got severely sick with E. coli and kidney failure. For 2 years, I was drowning. My son was off at university. We barely spoke. By April 2019, things had stabilized. My stepson was turning 16, straight A student, accepted to study medicine. My wife and I were so proud. So I decided to give him my Chevelle for his birthday. He was amazed. His friends were amazed. I texted my son a picture of my stepson standing next to the car at his party, thinking he'd be happy for his stepbrother. His response, "Is this a joke?" I didn't understand. "No, why?" Seconds later, my phone exploded with his call. He was screaming, asking me to tell him this was some sick prank. Through his rage, I finally heard the words that made my blood run cold. "You promised me that car when I was 10 years old. You said if I did well in school, it would be mine." The memory hit me like a freight truck. Him at 10, sitting in my shop, asking about the Chevelle. Me, probably distracted, saying something like, "Keep your grades up and this could be yours someday." But then he said something that made me snap. "You're a lousy father who doesn't care about his real son." I yelled back. Things were said that I can never take back. My wife begged me to calm down. Instead, I told him he didn't deserve the car and to call me back when he changed his attitude. Then I hung up. My wife was furious with me, defending my son. I didn't care. I'd been insulted, called a bad father after everything I'd sacrificed. I tried calling him a few days later. No response. His number had been changed. I convinced myself I didn't care. 3 weeks later, my ex-wife called, absolutely livid. My son had just graduated from university. She'd found it strange I wasn't there, so she asked him why. That's when he told her everything. About the car, about our fight, about how he'd been planning to surprise me with a visit to invite me to his graduation in person. Then she told me what he'd been studying, automotive service technology. He'd graduated top of his class. My son had spent 4 years becoming a mechanic, like me. He'd planned to move back, work in my shop, eventually take over the business when I retired, and I hadn't even bothered to ask what he was studying. My ex-wife was crying, saying he felt unwanted, replaced. She refused to give me his new number or address. He never wanted to see me again. That was over a year ago. My stepson immediately returned the car. The Chevelle sits in storage. I can't look at it. I spent months trying to find him. Nothing. Last lead suggested he was working for some major car manufacturer, but they wouldn't give out information. Yesterday, I received a package with no return address. Inside was his old toy Chevelle, our photograph ripped in half, and a VHS tape. The tape showed him at 7 years old, filming me in the shop. Halfway through, my voice came through the speakers. "You keep those grades up, and this shop could be yours one day, son." The Chevelle, too. That's a promise. He'd become exactly what he'd always wanted, a mechanic like his dad. And I'd destroyed it over a car I can't even look at anymore.